Hello, my name is Kwan Xiao. In this video, I will be helping Clovis College Information Systems students complete their Microsoft 365 projects. I'll guide you step by step through McGraw-Hill SimNet as we work on Project 13. This is a Microsoft Word project that follows SimNet Independent Project 7-4. For this project, you will modify a memo detailing the weekly expenses of Life's Animal Shelter. You will convert text into a table, add formulas, modify the table, insert a picture, crop and adjust a picture, and insert and modify a shape. Because this is an independent project, there are fewer instructions and screenshots. To help guide you, a screenshot of the completed project is provided at the bottom of the instructions. So let's go ahead and scroll down there and take a quick look. And so this is the final product that we'll be working towards. So whenever you get kind of confused where you're headed in the instructions, it's kind of good to refer to the screenshot to say, okay, this is where I'm headed. All right. So first things first, you need to go ahead and download the start file. And I've already downloaded the resource file, so I'm not going to do that again. It's just an image. So what you need to do next is go ahead and locate that file, start file you downloaded, open it, click on enable editing. And then for me, I like to arrange it onto the right side of my screen. So that takes care of step 1 and 2. So for step 3, they want us to convert text to a table and modify the table. So select the lines of tab text below the body of the memo, convert the text to a table, and auto-fit the contents the table. So this is what they're talking about here. So go ahead and just select that. So sometimes it's good to turn on the paragraph mark so you can make sure everything's selected properly. So yeah, that looks good. So now what I want to do next is go to Insert, go to the tables, and then scroll down to the bottom of the dropdown and select Convert Text to Table. Here is where we can select the Autofit to Contents, which is the second radio button in the Autofit behavior. And let's go ahead and just keep everything else on default. You notice it kind of got shrunk down, but don't worry, we'll expand it so it's more readable later. So that takes care of part A. Part B wants us to insert one column to the right of the last column. So to do that, you don't necessarily need to select the entire column like I did. You could have just selected a cell. But you notice there's a pop-up menu. And then from here, you can just click Insert. And then you want to insert column right. Okay? So that takes care of part B. Part C wants us to insert 2 rows below the last row. So here I'm just going to select one cell. I'm going to insert row below, and I'm going to do it again, insert row below. Okay. Here, I think there's a slight mistake in the instructions, and I'll go ahead and point that out as I work on it. Um, so for part D, they want us to type totals in the last cell in the first row. Okay, so just type in totals. And then for part E, they want us to type in totals in the last cell in the first column. Oh, I guess I did it backwards. Yeah, but it's just totals here and there. Okay. So I think this is a little bit confusing because um, if you look at the screenshot, see they want totals there, right? And then totals here. We haven't added the top title um, row yet, so don't worry about that. So I think they could have did a better job writing directions because the next thing we need to do, so let me go ahead and just zoom in really quick just to show you the screenshot better, is that we want to add averages underneath totals on the far left column. Okay, go back to top. Yeah, so averages there. Okay, So now they do want us to insert a row above this one right here, the expenses. So this time we want to select insert, row above, and then we want to merge it. So to do that, we need to go to, I think, table design, nope, table layout. Yep. Now in table layout, there's that merge cell option. Okay. And then they want us to center it, but I'm going to copy this first and then paste it as text. Okay. And it looks like it's already centered, so I don't need to do that. Moving on to step 4. This is where it gets a little bit tedious. Um, Even though it's a table, it doesn't function like a table um, in Microsoft Excel where you can copy and paste formulas. So this is where it kind of shows the limitations of the table feature in Word. It doesn't have a good duplicate um, feature. So usually what most people would do is they would have created this table in Excel and then paste it into this Word document. But for the sake of practice, we're going to do it the hard way, just to kind of explore the formula feature in Microsoft Word itself. All right, so for part A, it basically is asking us to have the total of each row, which is the total for the food row, medicine, wages, heat, equipment, electricity, which is rows 3 to 8, right? Because the other rows are just titles and totals. So they wanted to use a specific format and then a specific. You can use other formulas, but this is the more streamlined one where it's equal sum left. Kind of makes sense, right? Because you're writing the formula left of all the values. So you could use cell um, what do you call those? A1, A2 cell labels. So here it would be um, this is column A, this is column B. So Monday would have been cell B2. Okay. But instead of typing those individual cells out, we can just use equal sum left. However, we can't just type that directly into the table because it will just show the formula. So the way to do that, let's see, insert formula. Okay. So you notice I couldn't really find the formula box. Maybe if I select the entire cell, that would show up somehow. Oh, there we go. The fact that um, I have my Microsoft Word split to the right side of my screen. The formula got hidden. So watch if I do this again. So you notice the formula button went away. It's under the data section. So if I click under that, that would have given me that. So, or you could just type in formula in this or form, and then you can auto-complete by selecting formula. So let's go back to that cell there. Go to data, formula. Right now it's set to cell left, sum left. So I actually like this. It defaults to the correct formula, but I'm going to go and copy that because I'm going to show you it doesn't always default to the formula you want. As for the number format, instead of typing that in or copying that, you could just click the down arrow, the drop down button, and it's the third selection and hit OK. There you see the total for the food row. Unfortunately, we can't do a simple copy paste. It would have just copied the $2,076.25 over and over again, which is not the correct total for the different rows. So we just have to repeat this process again. And you notice the default changed to sum above, which is not what we want. We want to keep using sum left. Okay. So it's just some clicking skills. Certain times, this is just data entry at this point, right? All right. You could create a macro for this. Um, that's something that maybe we'll get to explore later on. Okay. to make this a little bit easier on us. Yeah, there we go. So we got all the rows for the different expenses for the Life's Animal Shelter. So that's part A. For part B, I believe this is where you want to use the sum function for the totals of each day in the week. Okay, so let's click in the cell there, go to data, and now it defaults to what you want, sum above. And I don't think we need to copy and paste that over and over again. So let's go with that. Okay. Yeah, so it defaults to the right formula for the totals of each day. Made a mistake there, didn't click out to the next cell. Yeah, I can definitely create a macro for this. But then of course, right, since we're just only doing it just for this activity, it's not something we would need to do. It would make sense, right, when you do this type of repetitive activity over and over again, that's when it's good to create a macro because it is time consuming to create a macro. Okay. So yeah, I created a total of the totals, which is, you can double check if that's a good move if by scrolling down to the bottom and then let me go and zoom in really quickly again. Yeah, see, they have a total of a total there, 10,879. Let me zoom out. Yep, 10,879. So that's good. Now we need to create an average. So if we scroll back up, we did part B. Now we need to work on part C. So now we do need to reference each cell. So B3 is here, and then B8 is here, right? We don't, because we don't want to average to total, which just throws off the actual average of the expense. So that's why it's B8, B3 to B8, not B9. Okay. So what I'll do is just go ahead and copy this. Click on the empty average cell below Monday. Go back to the data formula and then paste over that, and then select that number format. Yep. And then we just have to repeat that over and over again. Okay, so here I can't use B3 and B8 again because it's Tuesday. So it's alphabetical. So it's C3 to C8. Hit OK. That's a D now. Feel free to use the arrow keys to help you move quickly between the different characters. I don't think it matters if it's small e or big E. Oops, wrong format there. Okay, it's an F now. Yeah, you can just use caps lock so you don't have to hold the shift and then the letter. That's a G. The next one should be H. We finish on a H. All right, there we go. That takes care of step 4. Moving on to step 5, we need to create and customize a new table style. So we're not going to use the default table styles that Microsoft Word has. We're going to modify a pre-existing one and then call it last expense, which is Life's Animal Shelter. Okay. So let's go to insert. I think it's design, I believe. Yeah. So within here, no, or layout. Once again, it does look, it's a little bit hard for me because, right, there we go. I can just search for it, new table style. There we go. Once again, we're going to call it last expenses. Make sure you don't copy the period. Keep it as a table. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because they want us to base the table for part B on grid table 5 dark dash accent 3. And when we click here, look at how big is drop down selection. So you basically just have to go all the way up. Right now it's on grid. Oh, there we are. Grid table 5 dark accent 3. Oh, okay, that's not so bad because I already did a practice earlier. So you notice you just have to scroll up towards the top. Okay. All right. You just have to verify that it's applying formatting to the whole table, but we do want to change the font size to 10. I don't know why it doesn't say 10. Huh. Keeps. Oh well, I'm pretty sure it's 10. Double check that. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to part D. Open the table's property box. So to do that, you click on the format button, go to table properties, and then we want to change the top and bottom cell margins. The way to do that is we need to go to the options, and then here, this is where we can change the top and bottom. So it's 0.02. So just click the up arrow twice for top and bottom. For the left and right, they want it at 0.1. So we just need to click the up arrow twice again to go to 0.1. There we go. All right. That takes care of part D. We need to change the alignment to center. Right now it's on left, so click on center. And then click OK to close the table properties box. Okay. You notice the preview changed slightly. Click OK to close, to create the new style and formatting dialog box, and then to create the new style. Okay. Now we need to apply that. So to apply that, click on that, and then let's see here. Let me expand it out a little bit so I can find the style better now. Oh, okay, it's under table design. Yeah, there we go. And then here's that custom style that we just created called last expenses. Yep. Now, while we're here in table design, let's make sure in the table style options section on the left, the header rows checked, banded rows checked, first column is checked, but the last column is not. So let's go ahead and check that. And you notice the last column darkened. Okay. Oh, I switch B and A, but that shouldn't be a problem. They wanted to center the text in the first row of the table, if necessary. No, doesn't need to be done. It's already centered. However, we need to change the font size to 12 because it's the title. So we made it bigger. We need to apply both formatting to the column headings in the second row. So it's Monday through Sunday, Saturday. Go to home, or just reselect it. So we can just um, have that pop-up menu and select bold. Apply for the next part, apply bold formatting to the average values in the last row. Okay, right there, bold. Now they wanted to change the alignment of all values and the corresponding column headings to align top right. So let's just select that. So you notice when I select, let me go ahead and zoom in really quick. When I select, I hover until my pointer changed to a upper diagonal arrow. Okay, that allows me to select the values of the entire row. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom back out. And then I think we go to table layout. Yep, go to alignment, and it's this one, align top right, which is the top right hand corner icon. There we go. And you can kind of verify whether or not you've done it right. If you go back to the screenshot, I know it's small, so I'm going to zoom in really quick. And you notice that, yeah, it matches up. So we're good. Let's go back up. Now we're on to step 7, which is insert, crop, and modify a picture. So we're gonna, which is that resource file. So make sure your cursor is at the end of the page. So yeah, it's right there. So I'm good. I like to turn off paragraph marks so it looks cleaner. All right, now we're going to insert picture from this device. We want to go to where I downloaded my file. So for you guys, it could be on the desktop, but here it is. Hit insert. It's big. Yeah. If you look at the screenshot, we're going to have to do some cropping. So we need to crop it so the edges are approximately quarter inch from the individuals. So we need to crop it from all four corners of this picture. So just make sure you're in the picture format tab, just click crop, and you notice the borders changed to allow you to do some cropping. So I'm going to bring this down. So it's approximately, another way to say it is eyeball it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exact. The the SimNet is not going to penalize you if you're not exactly a quarter inch from each of the people here in this generic photo of a family. Okay, so just click out and then it will crop. Okay, but they do want us to change the picture height to 2 inch, so that's something we do need to do. Right now it's at 2.47, 2 inch, and it auto adjusts the width, so don't worry about changing the width. They want us to change the cropping so it's rounded, top corners rounded rectangle. So go back to crop here, crop to shape, which is second to last, top corners rounded. It's hard to see right now because it's on a white background, but the, the corners on the top are rounded. For part E, apply an olive green accent 3 picture border, and that will show us that rounded border. So let's see, is it this one? Picture effect, picture border. So it's the seventh row. Yep. Now you can see that rounded border. And then they want to thicken it. So let's go to weight, change it to 1. Okay. Apply the fill grain artistic effect. So going to the adjust section and film grain. Where's that? Marker. Third option. Oh, right here. Yeah, third option, third row. Film grain. Change the position of the picture. So to do that, it's a little bit tricky. I think it's here. Yeah. And it's this one. Yep. I just referenced, they actually have a screenshot for part G. Okay. Which is right here, figure 7-1 and 118. Press the picture so the resolution is web, optimized for the web, 150 ppi. So I don't know where that is, but I can type in compress, and then that feature is available right here. So click on that. It does the same thing. We want to select web, hit OK, and you notice it got grainier. Moving on to step 8, we need to draw a shape, modify the shape, and add text to the shape. So we need to draw a wave shape at the top of the document. So I'm going to click in front of 2, go to Insert, Shapes, go down to Stars and Banners, click on Wave. For some reason, I need to do it multiple times. So let me try this again. There we go. What? Maybe I have to have the. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess the move the moment I move my mouse without clicking, the wave shape feature goes away. So I guess I need to click. Yeah, there we go. And then move it up. Yeah, there we go. That was harder than it needs to be. So got part A done. We need to change the height to 1 inch and the width to 4. So go to size, 1, 4. Okay. Change the shape fill to olive green. Right now the shape fill is blue, olive green right here. Change the shape fill gradient. So we need to change the gradient. So, oh, okay. We need to go back to the bucket icon, go to gradient down here, and then we need to select from center. Okay. which is the second option in the second row in the light variation category. For part D, we did that. That we did part D. We did part C. We need to change the shape outline. So once again, is the olive green accent 3 that we selected in part C, but it's for shape outline, which is this one. If you hover over your mouse, it says shape outline. Let's go to this. Okay. They want us to apply a shadow effect. So this is where the effects are. Shadow, and I believe it's this one. Perspective, upper left. Yep. For step 9, they want us to position the shape and add text. So let's go back to the position tab, which is in the layout section here. Position. And they want us this one, right? Or I think it's more layout options. Yeah. Let's try this again. Position, change to centered. Huh. Yeah, I believe it is here. So we want to go to alignment. Yeah, alignment to centered relative to page. Then we want to change the vertical absolute position instead of negative 0.79. We can just type this one in, 0.2. We should go and add the quote, which represents the inch, and it will be below the page. Okay, there we go. All right, for part B, add text. So not a text box, so just right click on the banner. Then you notice there's an add text option available from the pop-up or context menu. And I guess I can just type this. Life's, oops, I have caps lock on. Life's animal shelter. Okay. Select the text in this shape and then apply the following changes. So it gets a little bit it gets a little complicated in respect of there's specific options they want you to adjust. So to do that, you want to go ahead and click the font and select the font dialog menu. So let me go ahead and zoom in to kind of show you how to access that. Click the font and you notice there's a diagonal down arrow. Click on that. And this is that pop-up dialog menu. That's where all the advanced options are. So we want to change the text color right now or font color. Change it so it's olive green, darker 50%. Okay. Then they want to change the font size to 22 right here. They want us to apply bold. Oh, bold is right here. And then small caps. See, that's the hard one. You don't see small caps within the ribbon menu. So that's why you have to access the font dialog menu to do this part. Okay. To access the after paragraph spacing option, we need to click the drop down for me, but click on the paragraph setting dialog box. And that is where we can access the after. Right now it's at 10 point. We want to switch it so it's 0 point. So it's good to type in the PT so that Microsoft doesn't think that is 0 inches. So anyways, right? And I believe that's it. So we finished this project here. Save and close the document. Yep. Upload the file, submit for grading. Let's go back to top. Upload my file. Okay. So some of you guys are having problems submitting your project and you're getting low scores even though you watch my video and follow step by step. Um, I highly recommend that you wait for your files to be synced on the cloud if that's what you're using or that's where you're saving your file before you upload it because it gets a little glitchy because of that. All right, let me try this again. Yep. So it has a green mark on my file. It means it's been synced on my Google Drive. So now I can go ahead and upload it to SimNet without having to worry about inaccurate grading, basically. Okay, let's go ahead and submit it for grading. Oh, okay, so let's see what happened here. Let's see. 6F does not have the correct horizontal alignment. Okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. This one does not have any pictures, shapes, or text boxes outlined to wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'd rather 6F I'm not gonna stress too much about because right now, right, my score is 95. I'm actually happy with that, but I just wanna demonstrate how you can, what's the word, read the feedback and corrects the ones that you can correct. I'm not gonna stress too much about 6F. It seems to be like a minor mistake on my part where I need to change the alignment of all values in the corresponding column headings to align top right, which I thought I did. I might have not selected that part, but I'm not going to stress over that one. But I can change this one. I think for this one, I think I need to make the banner thicker. So let me go ahead and go back to 8E. Yeah, see, it's a common mistake where you just read the first part of the instructions and forgot to do the second part of the instructions. So let me go ahead and open that file really quickly again. Okay. Click on this banner here. Go to shape format. Go to weight and go to 1.5. Okay. Let me go ahead and save that. Close it. Wait for my Google Drive to sync the changes. Yep. And let's go ahead and submit it again. I should have a higher score than 95. Let's see what I get this time. 96. Okay. That wasn't a big jump, but hey, I'm pretty happy with this score. So good luck on your project, and hopefully you get 100%.